Hi, I'm Jennifer Rapacki. Come on down to my studio. We moved back to Colorado in 2018 after 20 years in California. One of my requirements for our retirement house was a walkout basement. I wanted a bright, open studio. The layout of this basement had the perfect spot for an 8-foot by 8-foot design wall. I also have space for 2 sewing machines and my long arm to be set up all the time. The partial wall gave me space for bookcases and other storage. The white furniture is from IKEA. In the corner is my office area. This is also where I set up to give Zoom lectures and teach my computer design workshops. Here is my Viking Sapphire 850 with the larger 9-inch workspace. The machine sits in a Sew Easy table that I can also take to retreats. This is where I do most of my piecing and any work that benefits from the support of the extra tables. On the wall is one of my whole cloth fractal quilts. My Innova 18-inch long arm was one of my splurges when I moved, since I finally had the space for such a machine. I went with a sit-down since I mostly make wall-size quilts and didn't want to quilt for others to justify the cost of a frame. You can see some of my projects on the table. The idea is that if I see them every day, I might actually start working on them. The second splurge for my studio was an uplift desk base that goes up and down. A standard desktop is only 30 inches deep and wouldn't fit my 36-inch cutting mats. So I purchased a custom butcher block top that is 36 by 72 and 1 inch deep. I can lower the table for sitting to host a small class or sew day play date. With my ironing table next to this table, I can spread 2 mats for a nice large cutting area. This is also so much easier on my back than cutting fabric on the floor. The first quilt I made was in 1983 and hangs above my Viking Designer SE embroidery machine. This quilt was made from a log cabin kit of calico fabrics. I designed this birch furniture for a sewing room I had in 1989 with room for both a sewing machine and serger. There are bookcases underneath in the corner to support the top. My husband made the small box to raise up my machine pedal for better ergonomics. The ironing island is on wheels with storage underneath and was designed for use with a 36 by 54 inch SureBlock gridded cloth. On the wall is pegboard where I hang my rulers and a few other tools. Then more shelves and my dress form with a jacket alteration project on it. My sewing room in California didn't have space for a design wall, so I implemented the idea I saw in a magazine of sliding doors in front of bookcases. A closet door railing is attached to a 1 by 6 inch board that is screwed into the top of the 3 bookcases. There is some organization to the fabric, even if it doesn't look like it. When my nieces and nephews were little and into Beanie Babies, I collected them too, and now they are my sewing buddies. The doors are built out of 4 by 8 foot sheets of birch plywood with 1 inch thick insulation board glued to them. Felt is wrapped around to the back and secured with narrow molding trim pieces. The doors are a catch-all for small projects and workshop samples in various stages of completion, along with other small items I've been playing with. The closet in the corner contains the sump hole, and with shelving added was the perfect storage spot for my batting, embroidery stabilizer, interfacing, and anything else I can think to put in there. Here is my design wall with the lights positioned to take photos of the quilt I just finished and layered for quilting. To create the design wall, I purchased 2 4 by 8 foot insulation boards that are 1.5 inches thick. I taped the two boards together, then wrapped them in batting. You can see it took a lot of duct tape. The last step was adding the flannel secured with more duct tape. The design wall just rests on the floor and is attached to the drywall with screws along the top. I am so happy with how the studio turned out and really enjoy working in this space. Thanks for visiting. If you would like to learn how I bring technology and quilting together, check out my lecture, Creativity Unleashed, Modern Technology for Quilters. Also online at C&T Publishing is my Fabric Printing 101 lecture and my technique courses.